compiled for you. We hope that it piques your interest, and these were among some of your best moments as well. So we jump start now and get off the go with flow as well with our memory number 22. Our Christmas program.
Voila, la, la, yes. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. All right. St. Lucia, how you feeling? Hey. Oh, na, 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 na. Yeah, 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 yeah. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. I feel it, yeah. Pick up forces up right now. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Listen, as long as they health inside my body, I feel it, yeah. As long as my friends them feeling healthy, I feel it, yeah. As long as it's all about the Savior, I feel it, yeah. Hold on. Bring on the sorrel and ginger bakers. In the house and let we put the curtains. Bake the cake and put it on the table.
Emron Henry, our memory number 22. He started off our Christmas programming early in the new year, and now based in the United States. St. Lucian artist who continues to fly and represent the flag very well. Another artist is in at number 22. He was part of the Christmas celebrations and telling us all the good old Christmas stories. In at number 21, our memories here on Good Morning St. Lucia, Season 1.
We're having a party, having a fete, having a party, a Christmas fete. We're having a party, having a fete, we're having a party, a Christmas fete. Sing, oh, sing it well, a joyful news, good news to tell. Sing, oh, sing, oh, Emmanuel. We're having a party, having a fete. We're having a party at Christmas.
From us to you, Nintas, happy holidays. Thanks for all your support and blessings due in the year 2022. Look out for Nintas, by the way, if you're going to be down south, Monrepo, Daraso, Miku area, as far as Viewfort North, that vicinity. Look out for Nintas and the team. They will be doing the Serenal this festive season. That was 21. We can now give you event number 20. This platform all throughout has had a national interest with regional and international vibes. Number 20 comes from the nature isle of Dominica. My colleague Lady Lee and hundreds of St. Lucians traveled down there for the return of the World Music Festival earlier this year in October month, and Lady Lee was down there and comes in at number 20. Lady Lee will continue to take us around the Rosa Market.
But it is wonderful. The atmosphere, it is beautiful. I'm having a blast so far.
It looks like that. It definitely looks like that. Here we go.
We're live. We're live. Talk to us. Tell them what is going on today. What is the theme? Why are you all dressed in your outfits? I did not get the memo. As you can see, look at my attire. I got the memo too late last. So fill us in. You live in St. Lucia right now. Okay. Talk to us. So what is English or Creole? Creole, English, whatever you choose. Creole even better.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Bonjour. Nous c'est Croyé Dominique, nous votre Canago. Jean-Pierre, c'est journée créole. So tout le monde créole aujourd'hui. C'est le premier jour festival aussi en Dominique. nous cassave. Nous c'est indigenous qui a fait cassave Dominique.
Back home in St. Lucia, October was also celebrated as a Creole Heritage Month as part of our focus on everything culture. During the entire month long of programming, we featured here on Good Morning St. Lucia one of my very special guests, educator and Creole advocate Jason, the Bachelor Joseph, speaking on the importance of our folk culture.
From my experience, I think the attitudes that people have towards the language is the most important thing, because our history with our, whatever you want to call it, colonizers, whatever, the whole history of slavery, it really had a negative impact, I think, on people depending on the different classes of society. As a matter of fact, on social media, was it just yesterday, I saw a comment from somebody saying that we're in the language of our colonizers. That's actually the attitude that some people have. Even some of our dances and some of our traditional practices and so on, they view it as we just pushing and promoting the negative aspects of our past. So I think that's one of the main ways it has affected the language, the attitudes. And because the attitudes of people in certain classes of society, then it's been suppressed. Not as much today, I would like to think, but in the past, it has been suppressed and not given the prominence that it deserves.
So you think as a society we haven't been able to shake off that historical stigma?
It's still there. I think we've come a long way, but like I said, because of social media brings a lot of things that you wouldn't see and hear in the past. It makes it more prominent, and you see people's comments and the discussions that are happening. So I think we still have some way to go, but I don't think it's as bad as perhaps before, a long time ago.
Excellent. Educator and Creole advocate Jason the Bachelor Joseph in at number 19, and we hope that in 2023 and beyond there's greater appreciation for the Creole language, and more is done to preserve and to showcase our rich culture here on St. Lucia. At number 18, again, there in no particular order, we journeyed to the south of the island in 2022. Did you recall we observed the 13th anniversary, 13 years since St. Jude's Hospital was engulfed in a fire. Millions of dollars, 13 years later, the people of the South are still on hold. One resident, Mr. Cuthbert Coffey James, was also a maintenance manager at the St. Jude Hospital, was brought to tears here on the platform in review 13 years after St. Jude's fire. Number 18. Mr. James, let's go back to your facility, please. Thanks a lot. And keep moving. There's somewhat of a barricade. We hope that you don't get into any issues with the security, but keep moving as close as you can so St. Lucians can get an assessment for themselves. The Prime Minister
they already
asked whether or not we have been, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go down to St. Jude to see preparatory works, of course. Cleaning. What can you see, Mr. James, happening now?
Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening there. There's only a few guys in this. Nothing happening.
How many workers have you seen so far this morning?
Just about 7.
7 workers. And they were there from about what time?
They're from
as far as our source on the ground was allowed to go on the morning where work recommenced on the old St. Jude Hospital, the original St. Jude Hospital site. Work recommenced there a few weeks ago, and we are promised that very early in the new year, we should see the commencement of phase 2. Phase 1, which we just saw as part of our highlights, included the cleaning up of the old facility, debushing, and some fencing as well. We can now move on to our highlight, our top 22 highlights. This now is number 17. The new passports, which are now alive, the new electronic passports, they come with an array of features. We now can go live to a gentleman who has been down on the scene in Castries from 4:10 this morning. Good morning, Max. We seem to have lost the connection with Max. He's back with us. Good morning to you, Max.
Good morning, sir.
Quickly tell us, how long have you been on the line, and what did you come for?
Well, I've been there from since 4:10. I just came to apply for a passport.
From 4:10?
Yes.
Where did you travel from?
I'm from Cicero.
You're from Cicero. And when you arrived on the scene this morning at 4:10, what was it like? Were some people already there?
Of course, because they did a pre-number counting, and I got number 9. So they were through before me.
Number 9 at 4:10 this morning. And you're there to get a new e-passport?
Yes.
You have plans of travel?
Yes, I do.
You have plans for travel. And our popular Max, many citizens traveled into Castries. As you heard, he was online from 4:10, and he was not the first. Many people traveled and had to wait long lines for passports. Sadly, as we end in the year, the immigration office in downtown Castries again resuming to some sort of temporary arrangements, not full operations down there. That's how we end the year at immigration. Let's hope in 2023 that situation can improve. But during this year, we've given focus to all sections of our society. We believe that every citizen has a voice and an important role to play as we continue to grow this nation. Very special group of citizens were close to our programming and close to our heart here at Good Morning St. Lucia. In at number 16, a very important activity held in the south of the island for members of the disabled community. They would have missed this opportunity for 2 years because of COVID, and they got to do it this year, and they're in at number 16. Let me give a big shout out now and put the video up down as soon as we can. Give a big shout out to some very special people within this society, some very special youngsters as well from the south of the island. The Special Education Center in View Fort, they hosted their road race during the course of this week for the students, the differently able students who attend that center. Over 50 students participated in that event. I must give them a shout out this morning on the platform, and were supported by parents, teachers, and well-wishers as well. It's 2 years they haven't had the road race because it was affected by COVID, so I know it brought a lot of joy and excitement, smiles to the faces of the differently able students to take part in the road race. And from us here at Good Morning St. Lucia, we say happy holidays, and we wish the very best to every single member of the disabled community here in St. Lucia. Good morning and hi to the National Council of Informed Persons with Disabilities. Good morning to the special education teachers and the special people who continue to play a role in ensuring that the differently able community are properly serviced and care for. Happy holidays to each and every one of you. Let's stay with the children for a moment And we can go down for number 15 to the Department of Human Services. Our children in 2022, they came under threat from many angles. Leah Gorin spoke to the importance of doing what is right and preserving the well-being, a good climate and atmosphere for children to grow and to achieve their fullest potential. Number 15.
When it comes to the report, you always encounter fear, okay? Because children are groomed by predators for whatever form of abuse it is. To get them into a comfortable space, they probably are threatened as well. So sometimes it is a difficult process for them to trust the person that they are reporting to keep them safe and also to keep them away from the person causing harm. Another challenge would be our laws. If a child is reporting sexual abuse and if the mother is not agreeing to press charges, the police cannot continue charging that person. I remember several years ago when we had the former TPP, Mrs. Veronica Charles. She made a statement to that effect on the news that these are one of the roadblocks to carrying on and charging perpetrators. When you still have this thing in our law where it says that the child is a minor and has to have the guardian or custodian represent them in making that decision.
Leah Gorin there from the Department of Human Services in at number 15. In 5.5 months, 162 episodes, 483 interviews, in excess of 375 guests. We have pushed the envelope and we have raised the bar here on the island of St. Lucia. The new cost discourse have also attracted regional and international listenership and interest, so much so that Good Morning St. Lucia was invited to visit the Nature Isle of Dominica to provide exclusive coverage of that country's election, which happened on December the 6th. Number 14 comes from the Nature Isle. Opposition leader Dr. Thompson Fontaine speaking to us on the haze of the election about his next move. The hot button issue here in Roseau, Dr. Fontaine, is an invitation which has been extended to you by the Honorable Prime Minister. On election night, he says that he wishes to meet with Dr. Fontaine. Will you be meeting with the Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt? And what if yes, you will accept the invitation, you hope to be on the agenda?
I must say that I've been very much surprised by the level of interest and the level of debate and discussion going on in Dominica about this very same issue. I come from a background of conflict mediation. I've spent the last 6 years in South Sudan negotiating with parties that have been violent towards each other, with parties that have killed each other's families, and now they have to sit at the table and negotiate and discuss in the best interest of the country. And so I think personally I have nothing wrong. I see nothing wrong in sitting down with the Prime Minister of Dominica and discussing issues that are relevant to the country. And that's why I said I was a bit surprised.
Dr. Thompson Fontaine, leader of the Opposition United Workers' Party in Dominica, speaking to us during that mission. We conducted a one-week mission in early December. Back home in St. Lucia during the course of 2022, an issue which literally growed on us, and we spent a lot of time, we focused a lot of attention on this issue which grew, the national hair debate. Remember that one, St. Lucia, the student at the prominent secondary school, St. Mary's College. He was refused on the first day of the new school year participation in class exercises because of his hair. The student's parent initiated legal action, and that resulted in a national debate. We call it the hair debate. At number 13, Alex Lava gave his 411 or his 2 cents on the hair debate. But what's the fundamental concern here? It's hair. On the other end of it, people say there are rules and guidelines that guide how we operate and where we are at various parts in our life. What's the fundamental concern here from here out?
I mean, from here out, or just from like, you know, if we rationally sit and we think about this, I mean, on the one hand, as you mentioned, I mean, I have a head of hair, but I think as Black people, we need to like embrace that our hair is a spiritual experience and can go from being as bald and to as long as we so desire. And
the hair debate, I anticipate this one will continue to grow in the weeks and months ahead. A debate which has been with us for a good few decades now, showing its face again in 2022. Our friend of the show, Alex Lava, in there at number 13. I told you we raised the bar. When I said so, you know exactly what we mean. We brought you content from regional and international experts and leaders as well. Number 12, we head over to the Spice Isle of Grenada. That country during 2022, they elected a new prime minister. We were very fortunate to be granted an interview, exclusive interview with the prime minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell. Memory moment number 12, season 1.
Well, I think my humble beginnings remains with me. I still view myself as a very humble person. I think humility is a virtue that serves all of us well, regardless of the position or the high office you may hold. At the end of the day, the office of Prime Minister is an office meant to serve the people of Grenada. And service requires humility. If you are not humble, you may let the office and the trappings of the office get to you. And there's a clear distinction between the office of the Prime Minister and me as a person. And that office is an office you serve for a limited time. And then someone else will take the job.
We've grown some massive following and a well-trusted audience because of the quality of content that we have brought to you. Dickon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, our memory number 12. We count down now, and we are at number 11. Number 11. Wow, we've gotten to 11 quite fast. Number 11, a very special friend of mine, former schoolmate, who is now the head of a very important unit on St. Lucia, the CIP, Citizenship by Investment Program. McLeod Emmanuel was my very special guest on the platform, talking about the plans for CIP and the importance of this particular project. You said to the audience that our CIP project here on St. Lucia, it is well poised to be the choice for investors, and we are working to position it as the #1 CIP program. What underpins your confidence and optimism?
Well, a few things actually, Shannon. First is our due diligence. Mm-hmm. We as a unit, we strive on the integrity of the program, and the programs, the CIBI industry. I mean, the integrity essentially has a direct relationship with your due diligence, with your compliance, with your ability to ensure that you extract the best talent, the best quality characters from the pool. So that's number one.
McLeod Emmanuel, CEO of CIP St. Lucia, in at number 11. Number 10, the island's Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Tourism and Investment, who graced us here on the platform on 2 occasions. Dr. Ernest Hilaire was among government officials who signed on the dotted line that memorandum of understanding between St. Lucia and Global Port Holdings, GPH, for the now popular and well-known redevelopment of the ports in Castries and Soufrière. Dr. Ernest Hilaire, on memory number 10.
Well, I mean, quickly, it has to be a collaborative effort. It has to be bringing all agencies together. And I am a person who is rooted in social development, rooted in it. And I believe historically, not just in St. Lucia, but in many parts of the world, people believe crime should be dealt with essentially through law enforcement, the criminal justice system. And even when they bring in social interventions, it's a small part of the approach. I believe we have to reverse that. We have to be able to invest more in social intervention programs to complement the criminal justice system. And I'm a strong advocate for this. It is why, you know, I've been associated, for example, with programs like STEP and SMILE and whatnot. And we were ridiculed in the past when we introduced a STEP program where you're giving people work and they by the roadside, they don't have contract. And remember the leader of the opposition severely criticizing STEP and firing 1,000 solutions. I believe we need more programs like this.
Dr. Ernest Hilaire in at number 10, our top 22 moments for season 1 2022 as we continue to count down. Let's move now to number 9, but even before number 9, from 22 to 10, you got a sense that we really showcased some good quality, and we thank Dr. Hilaire for coming on twice on this platform, the only member of the government who's been accessible to us. Not the only one we've written to. From even before coming on air, we've written to a number of government ministers and officials. We thank Dr. Hilaire for responding positively, and we look forward to continued engagement. The people of St. Lucia want to know, wants to know. Thanks to that, I was talking about, Don, thanks so much for that. I was talking about the cabinet members. I am reminded, and I can confirm, the Honorable Jeremiah Norbert, the Member of Parliament for Biku North, has been on here at least twice. Also the Deputy Speaker, is he? Deputy Speaker of the House. I've just lost focus there. We recap now and we go to number 9. Correct? We're at number 9, and again, it showcases the level of interest that we've gotten outside of St. Lucia, out of our shores, regionally and internationally. Number 9 takes us to Barbados and to France. The focus is on the leader of Barbados, Mia Mottley, who has had a very good year in showcasing herself as a world leader. She was at the UNGA, the United Nations General Assembly, where she was well received. She was at the COP Climate Change Conference, and President of the United States, Joe Biden, has also had some personal interactions with her in her capacity as the Prime Minister of Barbados. At number 9, political poster Peter Wickham reviews the leadership of Prime Minister Mia Mottley.
It's kind of unusual to have it, and it's highly unusual to have one following the other. What I would always say, though, in these situations, is usually the problem is usually with the opposition. And when you had your situation in St. Lucia, the challenge was that the UWP couldn't identify a leader of any substance, and people were tired, and they wanted an alternative, and they saw Kenny Anthony as that person. Prime Minister Moore continues to be that person, and I would think that the difference here is that normally the flow is disrupted by, no pun intended, of course, your sponsors, but that flow is disrupted normally by an opposition that is saleable. And the challenge that we have
Political poster Peter Wickham, they're commenting on the continued rise of Prime Minister Barbados Mia Mottley. We move quickly now on to number 8, and again, a contribution as part of our program which focuses so heavily on the creative industries and the arts. I know you remember this one. It continues to attract global acclaim as well. At number 9, Shantae's Bull.
As you can see, I'm really tired. We drove from Canada. It's like whole day on the road and whole night. And but we were trying. It was really great in Canada, in Toronto, and we met with Caribbean folks, not just St. Lucians. And the reviews are great. And we were really satisfied and happy that we made the trip to touch base with our Caribbean folks. Yeah, it was wonderful, wonderful.
Right, that's tough life, you know, long hours, so you get used to it. When you're doing big things, you get used to tough life, Miss Emmanuel.
Well, ni Jeku, I want you pity amote, I Selina Sevi. I'm on after.
Absolutely.
But it has been great. The experience has been really, really excellent.
Then Emmanuel, the producer of Shantae's Bull, they're in at number 8. At number 7, a big one. The legendary Ronald Bohinkson was my very special guest at least twice. Perhaps it might have been 3 times, but at least twice. Boo was here as my very special guest. At number 7, the legendary and the one and only Ronald Bohinkson, our highlight memory moment, number 7.
Music is a very powerful medium, and if you use it to trivialize
6
the ills of society, then we're going to have some problems on our hands.
Yeah.
So I don't agree to random censorship, but we make a concerted effort to have the music going in a particular direction. Look at what has happened with Afro. It's
legendary Ronald Bohinkson in 2023. You will hear a lot more from Mr. Hinkson here on Good Morning St. Lucia. He was in there at number 7. We're reviewing our top 22 moments for 2022, and we can now move quickly now to number 6. He will be the host of our new feature, Crime Watch, in 2023, and he forms part of our memory and highlight moment, number 6.
But the issues that we face right now, Shannon, I keep saying it is nothing new. When we had 10 murders at one time in the history of St. Lucia, it was seen as a major issue. Now that we have 60 plus, it remains a major issue. For me, Shannon, it is more a situation of the lack of policy and planning, as well as execution. Because in the absence of all of those things, you can provide all the resources in the world to law enforcement agencies, and it is not likely to make the...
Let's move quickly now on to number 6. I think we are 6 more to go before we get to number 1. Number 6 again. On the hair debate. You'd have heard his voice a few times here on the platform during season 1, the chairman of Rise St. Lucia, Dr. Venus Sherry.
It should start with it should start with an apology to the Rastafarian community. I just sat on a show with Suku on Monday night on Solutions. And bro, like just thinking about this one to bring tears to your eyes. Imagine you, an educator, going to a foreign country, coming back more educated, ready and willing to give your service to your country. and having gone on government scholarship, which means
the chairman of RISE, Dr. Vina Sherry, taking us into our top 5 there in at number 5. We're counting down and we're now moved to number 4. It was a big highlight and favorite of mine during season 1. Ignatius Invader Thyssen, my very special guest on the occasion of the Feast of Musicians, St. Cecilia's Day, number 4.
For me, it's been quite a journey. I've learned quite a lot. I've met quite a few people. I've had quite a few experiences. I've climbed many mountains. I've crossed many valleys. I've swum many seas. I mean, it's just been a totally awesome journey for me. I have no regrets whatsoever. I appreciate.
One and only Invader speaking to us here on Good Morning St. Lucia, memory number 4. At number 3, we go back to the south of the island, St. Jude Hospital. You've seen early on in the highlights that work has recommenced. Debushing, cleaning work, sanitation work, and fencing as well has recommenced. However, this next citizen expects a lot more to be done and greater priority to be given to St. Jude Hospital in at number 3.
I don't know where I got this power that day, but you see, St. Jude's is right down into my heart. I had St. Jude's at my heart, and I don't know how to do. Every time I see things like that, sometimes water comes out of my eyes.
I know St. Jude is still at the center of your heart.
Yes.
And when you look down 13 years after, in excess of 200 million of our taxpayers' dollars spent on St. Jude, what say you as a man who helped save lives on that night? You helped extinguish the blaze on that night. What say you to the country St. Lucia on what's happening with St. Jude's 13 years after that fire?
Yeah, what I'm seeing there after 13 years, nothing is happening. And I don't believe the men in authority.
But Coffee James speaking there on the anniversary, the 13th year anniversary since the St. Jude fire at number 3. 2 more left. Do you want to take a guess now? And perhaps if you're correct, I give you a prize. Think we have time to go? I don't think so. I'm nudging you along. A few items, memories which did not make the top 22 list, and by no fault of my producers, these top 22 are in no particular order. You'd have recalled the interview conducted with the former police commissioner in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Gary Griffith. That was a big one. You also recall our interviews with Mr. Frank Myers as well. You recall the interview with on St. Jude with former Chief Engineer John Peters as well. Also high on the list, our studio interview with Dominic Fede, Fortuna Anthony's interviews. We've also had the host of Ask the Advocate, former magistrate T. Nigel Tousse, very special interviews. All of these form part of our most cherished moments, but not making the official top 22 list this time around. At number 2, again a focus on the arts, but this one has significant international currency. We spoke to the gentleman on the occasion of his birthday. He's well loved still, one of the Caribbean's best musicians. Where are we at? We're at number 2 or 3? Do we have Sparrow? No, we don't have the Sparrow interview. I would have hoped to have had that information. So again, one of the interviews that we would have loved to feature, but again, It's not available, unfortunately. The Mighty Sparrow, you would have recalled that interview that we did with him. At number 2, very important update we got on Calypso Queen Minel.
I believe that she's going to come along, but we just don't know when. We just don't know when. Just keep praying for her. Keep supporting her. Because we don't know. We claim the future and we say this is what it's going to look like, but we don't know. We just have to make sure that she gets the best medical care there is. Thank you guys for supporting her. Thank you guys for sharing her pics all over.
An update provided to the nation there by Luan. Luan is Minel's sister. Minel is doing a lot better now, and we continue to pray and hope for her a full and safe recovery. Look forward to seeing Minel, maybe perhaps not in 2023, but at soonest back in the center of the Calypso main stage. Number 1, a St. Lucia national athlete who raised the flag extremely high, and she made us all proud following her successes at the Commonwealth Games 2022. She came in second in the women's 100-meter final. Number 1.
I think going into that race is all mental at that point. There's nothing more that you can do. At the blocks, all I could think about was just getting out. I mean, even though I had that false start at Worlds, my goal was to get out, and I think that's the strongest part of my race. Once I get out, I know that I can finish strong, the strength that I've done.
National sprint sensation Julian Alfred wrapping up our top 22 moments for the year 2022 season 1, which comes to a close today, Friday. I haven't seen Debs, and we're out of time, so I know she will catch on with us very, very early in the new year. I want to invite you to join us from the 9th of January, God willing, where we will be back on the air here. Good morning, St. Lucia Vibes at Sunrise on Hot 7 TV. Before we go, a quick look at what's coming up in the new year. As the Advocate, a new feature coming to Good Morning St. Lucia Fridays, 7:30 a.m. with former magistrate T. Nigel Tusse. It's a legal program, matters of law, and more. That's As the Advocate coming to Good Morning St. Lucia Season 2 with Nigel Tusse, attorney at law and former magistrate T. Nigel Tusse. That's happening on Fridays from 7:30 a.m. On Wednesdays in the new week next year, Season 2, Wednesdays, Crime Watch with attorney at law Giovanni James. Crime Watch, Wednesdays, 7:30 a.m. exclusively on Hot 7 TV during Good Morning St. Lucia. That's happening Season 2 on the platform. Thank you so very much for spending the last 5.5 months with us. We invite you to continue to grow with us and stay with us. In the new year, we'll be back on the air. Thank you to all who've tuned in via social media, the Hot 7 Plug and Play, and as well as the various online platforms. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Shannon LeBon. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you the very best for the festive season. Join me very early in the new year. I'll be around the newsroom during the festive season, so you may hear from me. But until we see again, take good care of yourselves and each other.